You know, sometimes a story, it isn't told in a book. It's not on a screen. Sometimes you find it in the gravel of a voice, in that empty space between the notes. So tonight, we're not just going to analyze a song. We're going to walk the road it paves. We're going to listen to an American hymn for the lost.
And it starts right where you'd expect, out on the edge of everything. You can almost feel it, can't you? That low hum of the asphalt, the sky all bruised up at dusk. A lost and lonely highway. That's not just a place, is it? It's a state of being. It's the starting line for a soul that's completely run out of road. And right at the heart of this whole thing is this timeless fight. The grit, that sheer stubbornness it takes to keep moving when you're shattered. And the grace you find yourself begging for when you finally realize you can't save yourself. That's the push and pull we're diving into.
Okay, so let's get on that road. Section 1, the Lost Highway. And you gotta understand, this isn't a trip to somewhere. This whole journey is defined by what's in the rearview mirror. It's an escape.
This engine, it isn't running on gasoline. No. It's being fueled by regret. This whole thing starts with a heavy, heavy debt. A feeling that every mile you tick by is just another painful reminder of the mistakes you've made. It's a penance paid out on an empty two-lane blacktop.
And when you're running from yourself, what do? Sometimes you just lean right into the skid. This isn't some accident. It's a choice. It's a deliberate swerve into chaos, blurring the lines of the road until you don't even know which way is forward anymore. It's just a way to numb that ache of the past.
So if we're gonna sum up this first part, it's this. It's a desperate flight. It's about feeling profoundly disconnected from everyone, and maybe most of all, from the person you used to be. That highway, it becomes a wilderness for the soul.
But here's the thing. You can only run so far. Sooner or later, the road just ends. And that's when the real descent begins. We're talking rock bottom. This is the part of the story where our guy stops running and starts digging.
You want to know what's heavier than sin? It's believing you're beyond saving. Man, this line is a gut punch. It is the sound of someone who feels so far gone, so tarnished, that even heaven itself has turned its back. That is a deep, spiritual loneliness.
Now look at this. It's the small details that always hit the hardest, right? This isn't some big, poetic declaration. It's small. It's real. Shaving is a basic act of taking care of yourself, of facing yourself in the mirror. To be too gone to shave means you've completely given up. You've stopped even trying to recognize the person staring back at you.
And this right here, this illustrates the shift perfectly. It's not passive despair anymore. This is active self-destruction. See, he's not just falling into a grave, he is digging it. He's not just accepting his fate, he is building it with his own two hands, making damn sure there's no way out.
And there it is, the end of the line. The point where every single escape route has been sealed off. The fake comforts, the sideways distractions, none of it works anymore. There's nothing left but the raw, wide-awake reality of the hole you're in.
So, what happens? What do you do when the running stops, the drugs don't work, and you find yourself at the bottom of a hole you dug yourself? This is the turning point, that moment of absolute, terrifying emptiness that comes right before something else.
And from the bottom of that grave, a new voice starts to emerge. And it's not a shout of defiance, it's a whisper, a plea. That hard outer shell of grit finally starts to crack open, and it makes room for something vulnerable.
Now, this isn't a posture of defeat. You got to understand that. It's a posture of surrender. It's that raw, honest admission that you just can't do it alone. It's the moment the ego finally shatters, and that, right there, is where the real possibility for change is born.
And this might be the emotional climax of the whole story. It is a cry for help so profound he doesn't even trust his own prayer to be heard. He needs a proxy. He needs someone, anyone, to speak to God for him because his own voice feels worthless. That is a moment of just utter humility.
What's so great about this slide is how it just lays the whole conflict bare. On one side, you have the man he's become, the one with dirt under his fingernails. And on the other, you've got this ghost, a memory of his potential, the man his mama raised. The entire struggle is right there, the man he is versus the man he was supposed to be.
So what happens after the prayer, after the surrender? Well, this final section, it's not about a magical fix. It's about the slow and painful and kind of beautiful process of acceptance.
And this is the revelation. The journey was never about erasing the past. It was about learning to look at it without that cringing shame. The grace he finds isn't about becoming perfect. It's the realization that he was never really abandoned, not even when he felt like he was. He can finally look himself in the eye again.
So the key takeaway here is this. Redemption isn't about turning back the clock. It's about accepting the person you are right now, scars, regrets, the whole mess, and somehow believing that you're still worthy of forgiveness, both from yourself and from something bigger than you.
And that brings us to that one word, Amen. In this story, Amen isn't the end of the prayer. It's the beginning of it. It's not an answer, it's an exhale. It's the sound of letting go, of accepting your own brokenness, and taking that first fragile step out of the grave and back onto the road.
This story, this hymn, it really leaves us with a question that hangs in the air long after the music stops. We all value strength, right? That grit to just push through anything. But maybe true strength is found in that moment we finally stop pushing. Maybe it's found when we're on our knees, admitting we need help. Where in our own lives do we stop digging and start praying?